guys, Robert from the College Investor here. I am excited to talk to you today about one of my favorite things to help people with, and that is student loan forgiveness. Now, student loan forgiveness is everyone's holy grail if you have a student loan. Because honestly, what is better than having a student loan, right, than getting it just forgiven and paid off for free? Now, that is the dream of anyone that has student loan debt. Now, if you have student loan debt, you might qualify for a forgiveness program. The federal government estimates that over 50% of student loan borrowers qualify for some type of student loan forgiveness program. Now, that's hard because there are a lot of different types of student loan forgiveness programs. So I want to talk a little bit about the four big buckets of programs that exist to start with. So there are four types of student loan forgiveness programs, and let's break them down right now. First off, you have your generic student loan forgiveness programs. These are programs that are designed by the federal government to actually just forgive student loans. The number two type of student loan forgiveness program is student loan forgiveness that is part of a student loan repayment program. Now that sounds a little confusing, so let me explain that a little bit further. There are student loan forgiveness programs that simply by being on the right repayment plan, you can get your loans forgiven. This includes pay-as-you-earn, income-based repayment, revised pay-as-you-earn, and income contingent repayment, ICR. All four of those programs, if you still have a loan balance at the end of the program, any part of that loan that's left is forgiven. So that's cool. The third big bucket of student loan forgiveness programs are what are known as student loan repayment assistance programs. Ooh, that's kind of long. So student loan repayment assistance programs are different than true forgiveness programs in that these are programs that offer to pay a portion of your loan back. Maybe they'll give you $5,000 a year or some set amount as repayment assistance towards your loans. So while they're not true forgiveness programs, they definitely help you eliminate portions of your student loan. And the number four bucket is student loan cancellation and discharge programs. Now, these are programs that allow you to cancel or discharge your student loan after a set period of time or if certain requirements are met. So, what are the biggest factors that can help you get to these programs, right? So the number one factor for all student loan forgiveness programs, this is the biggest thing that matters, is your repayment plan. The reason is the biggest bucket of individuals that will qualify for student loan forgiveness will get student loan forgiveness because they are on the correct repayment plan. Now these repayment plans are income-based repayment, IBR, pay-as-you-earn, PAYE, revised pay-as-you-earn, repay, and income contingent repayment. Now, for all four of these programs, your loans will be forgiven after 20 or 25 years, depending on your program and when you took out your loans. So it's important to note that you have to be on these programs for that whole period of time. Now, there could be scenarios where you actually pay off your loan before that 20 or 25 year period, in which case you won't get any forgiveness. The forgiveness only comes when you still have a remaining loan balance at the end of your repayment time period. So that is the number one factor, your repayment plan. Your repayment plan also matters because some other student loan forgiveness programs, like public service loan forgiveness, require you to be on the correct repayment plan to be eligible. So if you want to get public service loan forgiveness, because say you're a teacher or a government official, you need to be on one of these four repayment programs right here, one of these income-based ones that we're talking about, to qualify for public service loan forgiveness. If you're not on the correct repayment plan, say you're on a graduated or an extended repayment plan, you won't qualify for public service loan forgiveness, even if you meet the other criteria. So, once again, as you're thinking about loan forgiveness and do you qualify, the number one thing that matters is your repayment plan. So number two, what is the number two factor for student loan forgiveness eligibility? It's your job. And the reason is The next biggest bucket of people that will get student loan forgiveness are people that qualify for public service loan forgiveness, which we just talked about in brief. So public service loan forgiveness gets you student loan forgiveness if you work in the public service and you make 120 qualifying payments under the right repayment program. So repayment program comes first and your job comes second. So the cool thing with public service loan forgiveness is that there are a lot of different jobs that qualify. Anything in the public service qualifies. Teachers, public health workers, state and local government workers, police, fire, other first responders. If you're in the military, there are a lot of jobs that can get you public service loan forgiveness. At the same time, your job is also important if you are going to look for student loan repayment assistance. So there are many state-based student loan repayment assistance programs that you can also get money for your student loans as long as you work in the correct job or the correct field. And finally, there are companies out there now that are offering student loan repayment assistance programs as an employee benefit. So if you remember a couple episodes ago, we talked about companies that are offering student loan repayment assistance as a perk for working there. And so it's all based on your job, and that is huge. The number 3 big factor for student loan forgiveness here is your student loan type. Now that sounds kind of weird because you might just think a student loan is a student loan is a student loan. Well, this thing is that there are different student loan programs that have existed over time. Currently, most borrowers are getting direct student loans. There's also Perkins loans and there's FEL loans, FFEL loans. So if you are going to qualify for student loan forgiveness, it's important that you are on the correct student loan type. This is important because programs like public service loan forgiveness require you to have direct student loans. If you have another type of loan, you won't qualify for public service loan forgiveness. So if you have been making payments, you might be doing everything you thought right. You might have been making your payments. You might have been certifying your employment. But if you didn't have the correct loan type, you won't qualify for student loan forgiveness. It's also important to note that private student loans typically don't have any type of forgiveness option associated with them. So if you're struggling to afford your private loans, there's a whole bunch of other options that you can explore. It's just student loan forgiveness isn't going to be one of those options. It's important to note here that this isn't an exhaustive list, right? These are the top 3 factors that qualify for student loan forgiveness, but there's a lot of other factors as well. These are just the most common ones. So if you are excited to learn more about potential student loan forgiveness options, I highly suggest you check out the blog. Go visit thecollegeinvestor.com/student loan debt, and you can see all of these programs. We also have an awesome tool that allows you to see every student loan forgiveness program by state, and you can see if you qualify for any in your state as well beyond these federal ones. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you on the blog. And until next time, this is Robert, and have a great day.